So today we're going to see a bunch of movies that are hopefully of interest, some that are probably of no interest, and some that are just a little odd. As I mentioned in the description for it, sometimes you buy a reel of film because you want to get one segment on it, and then there's stuff before or after it that is just different. And sometimes it's interesting. On one of them, I found myself going down a rabbit hole because they had some really neat footage of the '64 fair, but at the end of it, it said shop fire and then wind damage. So and you'll see the movies of a shop all burned out, and I caught the name off a wall where the shop was. The next thing you know, I said, okay, it's June 22nd, 1966, in what you call it, Minneapolis, where this guy had a company that made machines that carve wood, and they were mixing some chemical and it blew up. So just weird stuff. The other thing I mentioned in the talk was I did a major upgrade to the scanner this past week. I've had the scanner for a while now, and I've always been a little dissatisfied with the quality of the lens. As you can imagine, this guy that made them was trying to turn them out and make as much profit on them as he could. So he got a lens which was pretty good. Need to let somebody else in. Pretty good, but not great. I always thought it was a little on the soft focus side, and I also felt it was a little on the not sensitive enough for light. So I run the Facebook group for the support of these scanners since the company shut down. And this guy said, oh, I went off and I bought a bunch of lenses to try to find a better way to do this. And he would buy a lens and post the same video over and over, the same film over and over, shot with each lens. Then he'd get the next lens and then he'd rate them all. And he finally decided he found the one that he liked, and now he was going to sell off the other lenses that he didn't need anymore for about half price. So I said, that sounds like a good idea. So I got it, and it became I've just never watched the show MacGyver, but you know the expression about MacGyvering a solution. I had to come up with one because if you know anything about cameras, the camera on this scanner has what's called a C mount size lens. Well, the new lens I got has a 39 millimeter thread. And there's nobody that seems to make a 39 millimeter to C-mount adapter. So I had to get a 39 millimeter to 42 millimeter adapter. So I ordered all this stuff on eBay, right? And see if I can grab this here. I needed one 39 to 42 millimeter adapter ring. If anybody wants any, Amazon sent me 10 of them. So, and charged me for one. I mean, I think it was 89 cents or something. No, it's $2.99 anyway. So I now have a whole bag full of these things. But they didn't send me the next one, which was they call it the C mount adapter. So and they said, oh, it's coming today. Well, it's coming tomorrow. Well, it finally came, and it turned out it didn't work because the depth of the lens on the back of it is the C mount lens was too shallow. So I needed to buy what they call an extension tube. So I had to go from 39 to 42 to 42 extension tube, 42 to the C-mount adapter, and I plugged it all in. Is it going to work? And boy, was I happy. I was saying to Carol, she said, how's the lens working? I said, well, I got good news and bad news. And she says, all right, what's the good news? And I said, it looks really, really good. She goes, what's the bad news? I said, now I'm going to have to redo everything I've done before. So so I don't think that's going to happen for a while, but it really, when I get into the films, one of the things that's making a really nice difference is on all the shots that were really, really dark in films. I also did a upgrade to the software for the scanner, and it has, we'll see inside Small World of the '64 fair, you can actually make out what the figures are and not just dancing shadows. So it kind of went all over. So I'm going to jump back and forth and up and down as I go through the films. The first one here was one that was so dark when I first got it, I thought I was just going to throw it away. It was one of those things. So you buy a roll of film and you roll the dice. Is it going to be anything good or not? Or sometimes you get, like just yesterday, I don't know how big that box was, Carol, that came, 2 feet by 3 feet, something like that. Big box of film. It turned out to be a big box of styrofoam with some film. But you just never know what you're going to get. I mean, I came walking in yesterday. I said, what the hell's, huge thing. So on top of everything else, I had a resurgence of my vertigo attack yesterday. So that was great fun. But anyway, this first film I was going to throw out, but it goes from 1963, and it's a New York Fire Department event, which maybe people from New York can recognize. But we're going to see a parade, and they go by a bunch of New York City icons like Horn and Harlot Automat and stuff. So let me get that ready here. Yeah, like I said, when I first got it, I couldn't even tell, where they were walking or what they were doing. So, like I said, the new scanner is working a lot better. Joey, our power is doing weird things. Our lines are shot because of the snow. Can hear audio. Okay, well, when you're someday, Joey, when your videos, your power's doing better, we'd love you to share the video of Joey at the World's Fair that I did for you.
He's up in New York, isn't he?
Yep. So here we go. We see a bunch of firemen all walking up to a church. This is 1963. Who knew
Firemen carrying rifles?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, who knew how many firemen carried rifles? The honor guard. And I don't know if he's any famous cardinal or not. The little boy here is evidently the son of the fellow that took this, because we see him in some other footage. But here they come down the street, and I can only make out it says New York Fire Department something Catholic. So it's a Catholic parade of some kind, but I don't know what it is.
Is this JFK's assassination?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I got a kick of how empty the streets are. I mean, even the people on the sidewalk, there's hardly anybody. It might also be 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Who knows? Tom McCann. Oh, Florsheim shoes. There's another shot in another movie where they have Tom McCann, which were the shoes I used to buy all the time. And one day they were gone. I have to look up these names like Rogers Pete and see where it is. There's the kid marching with all the firemen again. Hey, there it is, the automat.
Yeah, Horn and Harlot.
Yep. I got a quarter. I want to go get some pie. Then a real quick shot. They must have been walking by Radio City and Rockefeller Center. And we go back to the parade or the aftermath of it here.
We toured Radio City when we were in New York for our anniversary. Only tour I've ever had that actually took you through the bathrooms.
I want to take that. Last time we were there, they were setting up for some show and they weren't giving it. So
is it a special bathroom?
The bathrooms are amazing. They have Art Deco paintings in there, and there are lounges and such, and they're the original bathrooms. So yeah, the tour is well worth it. It's yeah.
I want to go see the stages and the lifts and everything. So this is where we jump out of what you were planning to see, which was the New York City footage, and all of a sudden we end up with this kid's apparently his first communion. Then it goes on for all sorts of other.
But how come his hairline receded? At such a young age, he's losing his hair in the front.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Maybe that was the style back in 1963. So then I have another one here. So I'm going to stop this one. It goes into just some real mundane family stuff. Then we get this one here, which we're going to go to Washington, D.C. Just trying to move this here. And let me get the year on this one real quick. I got it written here. 1966. These films, these are the raw scans that came right off the scanner. No color correction, obviously no dust removal or anything like that.
Are you running it now?
I got a gray square.
Yeah.
Gray square. Okay.
Gray square.
Second. Huh.
Must have been a foggy day.
Yeah, I see what happened here. 1 second. Okay, hang on 1 second. Oh, let me go. That's weird. Okay. It did not open in the same viewer. Let's see if it's doing it now. Nope.
I've
Okay.
got parts of it now.
Do you see it
No,
now?
that was the
That was
previous
the
film.
previous one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very soon. Okay. Now I've got a little tiny
Well-
box.
Yeah.
I've just got a gray screen again.
I got a
Yeah.
gray screen with 051 and some video running behind that, but it's in like a postage stamp size window.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what I
yeah,
have.
something way down at the bottom here. Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
All
can't
right.
tell what that is.
Okay. I'm gonna be able to fix it. 1 second. Okay. You're a tough crowd.
Mhm.
Then again, we didn't pay for this presentation.
Yeah, I noticed that, you cheapskates. By
I
the way,
want my money back.
by the way, Michelle, thank you again for the donation to my Boy Scout camp. It was greatly appreciated, and I thank you. So let's see, share a screen.
Very welcome.
Okay, we'll try sharing the screen here. Optimize for video clip. Now, do you see it?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, all
There
right.
it
White
is.
House.
Wow, it had 2 wings.
Two wings,
Yeah,
look at that.
yeah. Like I said,
That's when the wings
the
run
other
us
one,
due.
yeah, the New York City one and this one are the raw scans straight off the scanner. They haven't been color corrected, or
Treasury building.
dust cleaned or anything like that. Some of these films, the one that I'm going to show, which is some Disneyland and Seattle World's Fair footage, was the dirtiest film I've ever gotten in my life. The guy must have been an 8-pack a day smoker. I mean, I clean these all with a cloth and chemical, and it was like, okay, first pass, second pass, third pass, and the crap just kept coming off. So the hotel ambassador in DC had swimming. I have to wonder if that's still there. So a little bit of a distance. So that one thing this family did was, then they made their own tiles here, which is kind of cool. Red, white, and blue. And he did overlay on top. You can see some buildings moving and stuff in the background.
Too bad they didn't add more information like the date and what the family name was.
They actually did add the date that comes up right here. So how's that?
Oh, there it is. July 25th, August 1st. Gee, that's magic. I'll have to ask for other stuff in the future and see if it comes up.
Yeah. Can you ask? Okay. And you wanted the names?
Oh, okay.
M. Williams something production. No, Barack, could you ask for tonight's winning lottery numbers?
Yeah.
So we have a tour boat, and did you see a big splash there? Kids are jumping off those rocks into the Potomac there. I think it's the Potomac. I don't know what the C means.
Totter.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, look how large it is too. It's about
Hey.
75 feet tall.
Oh, hey, good choice.
Yeah, it's right after my own heart, reading Mad Magazine.
I just bought, they advertised on Facebook, a complete a PDF of all the Mad magazines.
I've had that on CD for years. They put out like a 25 CD set, and I've been getting the more updated one. But I had so much fun going back, through them. So this, they're getting the family car ready. Now we're doing something inside the house, and we can see what they're watching on TV. A commercial for Lucite. But one of the things they did was they took a lot of pictures of the family walking around DC. But for the car fans, they also got a lot of cars in the shots as they go through parking lots.
Late 60s, early 70s, you think?
What's that?
Late 60s, early 70s. I'm looking at the station wagon.
66, according to the film.
Okay.
And when up at the top of the Washington Monument, looking down,
Yeah, you need reservations to go up there now.
yeah, when we got up there, the window was so dirty and grimy, you could barely see anything out of it.
And it's tiny also.
Yeah,
They're itty bitty, yeah.
look how smoggy it was that day. But he had a pretty good sized lens, I guess, to get some of these shots. We haven't been in DC for a number of years. Neil was living back there for a couple of years and went back and gave a talk at NASA, which was fun. And DC's always a line for people taking a tour of the White House. I don't think they give those anymore.
No, I took one of those in the 70s.
There's
I-
nothing to see. They tore it all out, didn't they?
Yeah, you sent her through the East Wing.
When I had to, when I was working for Disney, I met a fellow that worked for the Department of Justice, and I had to go to DC for something, and my parents came to DC for the same weekend, and mentioned to Fred my parents were in town, and he said, would they like a tour of the White House? And I said, yeah, I've always wanted to go. And he goes, well, I can only get 2 people in. So being a nice guy, I sat down the street at a Chinese restaurant. Well, Fred gave him an after-hours tour of the White House. And my father, who was not easily impressed by things, came in and said, I just sat at the president's desk. And, you know, I mean, literally
my.
Oval Office. And Fred says, you can't touch anything on the desk. Don't touch the phones or anything. But the guy let my dad sit at the president's desk and, you know, be in awe of the power of the Oval Office. And my dad talked about that for years. And all I had was Chinese food. So,
No. I looked, it's gone, the Ambassador Motel.
yeah. But yeah, my dad was very impressed that I knew somebody that could get him into the White House.
That's impressive. Yeah, I'm impressed.
The normal tour doesn't even take you to the Oval Office.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, one thing you might notice on these films here is the image area that appears between the sprocket holes. Some cameras just shot right down the viewable area that you normally see when you project it, and others caught things off to the side between the sprocket holes. Here's RFK Stadium. I think it was, I don't know what it was called back at that point in time. You could see they did not get huge attendance for their games.
Wow.
Senators? Huh. There's what, 12 people there?
Yeah, I think
More
we're gonna
people on the field than in the stands.
just about. You're gonna see a few more people on the other side. I was actually wondering if this was just batting practice or something at first, and it might be before the game. But then we start looking, we see some other people out there. There's the rest. So again, this could be batting practice or whatever, but whatever they were doing that day, they sure didn't have a lot of people there. Now it looks like they're playing. He's at bat, scoreboard's lit up, and there's more people, but not a lot of people. Look at the whole upper deck. I think it's got one guy up there. Keeping score. Some of these buildings you can recognize, they're going into the Capitol building or others, it's some anonymous government agency.
Bill?
Yeah.
The original name of the stadium was District of Columbia Stadium.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the original time, I try to look at this with the original lens and everything. This is just dark, and again, the new scanner does a good job. Now, some parts, the guy evidently had it set for filming indoors, and he forgot when he came outdoors to reset it. So we end up with a couple moments of, absolute next to nothing. One of the things I found that this new lens is so sensitive to light and everything that in some cases I have to go back and rescan a film twice, and because it will come out way too bright, not like on this one. Oh, now he's gotten back to regular, but again, I was very frustrated, each week when Amazon was, oh, we'll send you your stuff. Oh, we sent you the wrong stuff. We sent you too much. When I finally got it together and flipped the switch while I was holding my breath, and I was quite happy it worked out. Back to the hotel. I don't know if there's any more Lucite commercials. Looks like now we're shooting inside the dome, and we forgot to switch from outdoor to indoor. Look at all the cars, guys. Let me pause it. Well, we went up. Let me go back to the cars. See if we can recognize any of them.
Not an SUV in sight.
No, no, that's true. No
And
mini.
how many
Then they
pickup
were-
trucks?
They were called station wagons anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, most of them are
Yeah, you see
station
a couple
wagons.
of them
I think one of them might be a Buick. I can't tell that front end. It's not very clear as to what we're looking at there.
No. You see
Oh,
how much,
there's a Buick down in the background over her left, to the left of her left shoulder. It's kind of a gray car. I think that's a Buick.
right? You can see by way stopping it, all the dirt that ends up, was going through the guy's camera, and just it's there for good now. It just flickers in and out, or this all got up when he was smoking his 12 packs a day. Who knows? This isn't the worst of the films that I've done. He's got his little portable chair. He's all set. Carol and I took a tour of the Capitol when we were back there. I thought that was a lot of fun. May have mentioned, if you're in New York, go upstate to Albany, and you can take a very nice tour of the New York State Capitol. And then when you're done, you can just wander around the building as long as you want and self-guide yourself. That's really well done.
Hmm.
We're going someplace that we went by bus. And we're inside looking at some historical stuff.
Yeah, when you talk about going in on these tours, when I was a kid, we went to the California State Capitol tour, and I was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years old. And that tour included, you went into the governor's office, and the governor was there working. It was Governor Knight at the time, and he was actually working. You got to meet him, and he shook your hand and
Whoa.
stuff like that, which was kind of cool. I don't think you could do that today.
Well, it's funny you mention that. In 1967, we went cross country by bus to go to film on Scout Ranch, and we got to Colorado, and it was the very first earthquake I ever felt. They had an earthquake while we were there. But now we're at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We were wandering through the Capitol building, and we walked into an office, and there was a guy standing there, and we said, hi, we're from New York, and he said, can I help you? I said, you are here to see the governor. And he said, well, you found him. It was the governor of Colorado, and he was just standing there talking to his secretary when we came in. So we said, oh, okay. He goes, come on and have a seat. And then we were saying we saw his car outside, which had the license plate, just the number 1 on it. And he says, yeah, I never have any trouble finding it in a parking lot. Man, he couldn't have been any nicer. Yeah, we were looking for the governor. Yeah, you found him. Yeah, today, good luck. 27 security patrols and metal detectors and everything else.
And you'd probably still not get in the office.
No,
They look like audio animatronics.
yeah, they're pretty well trained that way.
Imagine doing that all day.
Well, they do it for shift, and then they rotate. Thank God they don't have to do it all day. It's funny. I just saw a thing that they have the soldiers that pose over in England, the horse guards, and they just put up a video telling people you don't need to leave us tips, because all these people looked like they were Chinese or running out and sticking money under the soldier's foot to give them a tip for being out there. And they were saying, you really don't need to do that. Thank you. So Arlington, looking across over towards the Washington Monument. And we get to see Kennedy's grave. These are all the people for that. Again, this is 1966, so relatively new. There's one of our nuns for the day. We'll see some really different nuns when we get to the World's Fair. We were in Washington right around this period of time, my brother, cousin, my grandparents and I, and there was the crowd waiting to get up there to the flame was it was intense. I think we were there in 65. They had just gone from the temporary grave to the permanent grave.
Wow.
One of the things I like, this guy didn't take a lot of real quick, zoom type, pan releasing shots. Neil's apartment was within maybe a 10-minute walk of the Iwo Jima Memorial. All right, red pickup. Okay, what kind of car is that?
Should be an Oldsmobile with those 3 round circles.
Yeah,
No, the Buick had the 3 round circles.
Was it Buick? I thought it was an
Buick,
Oldsmobile.
that was their
Okay.
trademark.
All right, sorry about that. Misleading. Right company, right? Same company. General Motors.
They achieve any purpose, or are they just there for looks?
They were there for looks. They were, it's kind of giving a jet age look at the car, type of thing, and it just became their symbol they used for quite a number of years.
He lost his focus there. Ramsey House, anybody know what that might be? Okay, and the rest that was the end of the reel. And let's see if the next reel comes up automatically or not, or if I'm going to have to satisfy a tough crowd here. You see a video?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a gray
Oh.
square off to the right, covering about a quarter of it.
Yeah, bottom right hand.
Do you see it now?
That's
Yeah.
gone.
That's okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's Washington's house.
Yeah, so hang on, let me get rid of. Hang on 1 second. I got 2
That's
videos.
Mount Vernon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully you see Mount Vernon okay now, right? All right. So looking down at the Potomac, Washington's grave. I was impressed to find out that this is not a national monument or a memorial or anything. It's run by some ladies organization that took over the house when it was run down, restored it, and run as a private operation.
Yeah, I've been a member of that group for 25, 30 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's the Mount Vernon Ladies Association or something like that.
Well, that's neat.
George Washington's Mount Vernon, it's actually called.
Yeah, it's a weird when I go up, to Washington. There's a town up there called Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
So we got some night views. Like I said, the lens does a great job, but you can't do anything, make anything out of something that's not there. They come and walking very formidably towards the camera.
They did like their walk by shots.
Yeah. I look at these, I think this is the Naval Observatory where the vice president lives. Yeah, I keep watching these, wondering how humid was it? Because it seems like every time I go to Washington, well, if it's unless it's middle of winter, it seems like summer just gets awfully hot and humid there. Okay, that's the end of that one. Let me go to one that, as we were doing this here, this was just, what you call it, just finishing up. So I got another reel, which was labeled 1962 Vacation, and they went to the Seattle World's Fair, which we'll see. But on it, there was some amateur footage, and then there was also purchase footage. This is a film of Colorado, circa 1960-62. It was very, very red, and I couldn't do anything with it, so I finally converted to black and white. Just to go back to the beginning, anybody recognize the city? Come on, let's go back.
Just north
Have
of
to be
Denver.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Colorado
be.
Springs.
Don't know. I was just wondering if anybody knew it. Because some stuff's identified, other stuff is not. This film again was incredibly dirty. It was the dirtiest film I've ever come across. So I physically cleaned it, and it's gone through digital cleaning, which makes believe me, a huge difference in taking out the stuff. And it also has some mildew problems and other things. So nothing exciting, but again, I decided to restore it because just the historical stuff, Pikes Peak and other stuff that we'll see.
What year did you say it was?
This was on a reel of film shot in 62, so it's 62 or earlier. Now,
Okay.
this is sort of
wow.
look at this and go, oh my God, driving up there's no guardrail. It's a dirt road. You know, going up would be okay because I'd be on the inside. Coming down the hill, I'd be scared to death. Carol and I drove over some mountains when we were over near the Salt Lake City area. We drove over to some mountains between ski resorts, and this is the sort of road, and it's like, oh God. Particularly bad when you're in a rental car and you don't know the car all that well. So we did it. We're up at Pikes Peak, 14,000 and odd feet, and it's a snowy day up here. Then we go to visit Manitou Springs and the Cave of the Winds. Carol and I are trying to figure out vacation places. Maybe we'll go to Colorado. It'd be kind of fun to shoot this, try to find out where they shot it and redo some of these scenes. Dirt road.
On the way to Pikes Peak, you go by North Pole too. You know, it's full blown Santa Claus and
Oh, that's neat.
toy shop there.
So we're in the Cave of the Winds.
Somebody was right there. That was Colorado Springs. I just pulled up a bunch of images, and the very first image looks almost like it's the shot from the film.
Oh, that's perfect.
With that building in the building with the two towers in the background.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This looks like
Yeah, I've been there a lot. Yeah.
Manitou Springs Incline Railroad. Now we get the Seven Falls. Let's count them all. Like I said, I wish the color had been okay in this, but I just couldn't bring any color back out of it. The Seattle World's Fair one we'll get to is very, very red.
Look at that stairway. I was able to climb that stairway.
Yeah, somebody's going up it there.
Oh, Biltmore.
Now look,
One more.
Broadmoor. Yeah, sorry, Broadmoor. Yeah.
yeah, but let me go back to the sign there 1 second. Why did they spell Broadmoor that way? It was like, you know, did the guy realize I'm running out of room? Or, I mean, I wonder if there's some particular reason that was done. I looked at that and said that's really
The bottom of the A is missing.
You've never seen that before.
No, the A is like half the
Half
size in font
Half by
size.
A.
Yeah.
Lord,
we have
Okay.
one road sign. I drive by a patrol in the area all the time, which the street, for whatever reason, At one end of the street, the road sign looks perfectly accurate. It's called Woodlawn Drive. But on the other side, they used all lowercase letters for it. And it's just, every time I see it, it's like, anyway, I just thought that was kind of weird.
That is
Yeah.
strange.
Rhodamore. Very modern 60s looking zoo. Not sure what the tower is that we're looking at. Looks like Will Rogers. And that the actress is so famous, she has her own waterfall. I thought that was
Wow.
She was probably like 6 when this was filmed.
yeah. The old Capitol building. The world's highest bridge. Been out on that bridge, and boy, that's scary looking down.
Yeah.
I went whitewater rafting underneath it.
Did you? Wow, that must have been an experience.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Browns River, is it? Can't remember.
So we're getting our share of incline railways today, then a hydroelectric plant. And as our travel comes to an end, we regretfully say goodbye. Goodbye to our friends in Colorado. Now, the next one here, which hopefully you can see, is a souvenir film sold at the 62 Fair and by Morley Studios, the official licensee. When I bought this, it was advertised as, 62 Seattle World's Fair. I didn't realize I was going to be getting a souvenir film. Didn't realize it would be bright red, but I was able to get something back out of it. And then there's some amateur footage at the very, very end. So off we go from downtown Seattle Center, or downtown to Seattle Center.
It's cool that you still ride this.
Yeah,
They tried to enlarge that further into the city, but the people voted against it.
I know. What a shame. I get a kick. Watch the guy, and now they have some guys coming. Look at the guy close to the camera. Whoa, good recovery. Nope.
Everybody's got sunglasses.
Yeah. One thing that got me is you can see all the visible slices as they go from scene to scene on these things, where you think they would have taken those out or done something when they mass produced them, but I guess back then people just accepted it. This walkway now has a enclosed viewing area, so you can no longer just jump off if you want to. The U.S. Science Center. The fair was so small, these people ought to be really lazy to hire these things to get around.
Yeah.
To me, it'd be like hiring one to go out to get your mail.
With our driveway, I might want to do that.
Maybe. Boulevards of the world, Canada. That fountain is still there today. Used as a giant splashing pool by kids. This is the entrance to Canada. Hawaii. Denmark. Berlin. As I said, I didn't get the blues back there. I was astonished there was any color left in this thing. The Sky Ride is still in use today at the county fair in Puyallup. We'll have to go there sometime when this county fair is on, Carol, and then we can go ride it. A lot of these rides were unique at the United States at this point in time. They were done by European manufacturers, like this octopus ride. They would send people overseas, they brought them back. They came back here and they became so popular, every place in the United States had to have them. But they had a special team scouring the world for unique rides for the Gateway amusement area. International Fountain there has been redone, so you can now go out and up at the top there, you can see it's flickering. That was a gas jet, and they were very proud that it used the gas that could heat something like 1,000 homes. Well, they obviously decided that was a bit wasteful, so the no longer has a light up thing up at the top. This was Show Street, where the girly shows were. This is the amateur footage, so the color is a little bit better. For only 10 cents, you could win one of those giant dolls and carry it all day. And we go around and around and around and around and around.
Leave your lunch behind.
Oh God, yeah. I'm just you watch that. Oh, now I know why I got the vertigo. I was editing these movies. Okay, so then this one was again stuck to the roll of film. This was also bright red. But we get to see some of the floats from January 1st, 1963. The Huntington and Sheridan, back then the hotel had its own float. That was
Yep, they're no longer in it.
no.
Probably bought out by Honda or somebody like that that wanted a spot on the parade.
Well, a lot of times they just drop out because they
Well, sometimes they did, but quite often they were sold out because somebody wanted in. The parade only allowed so many, at least at one point in time, so
Oh,
many
yeah.
floats to be in it, and so that's the way they got in.
Oh, that's neat. It's good to know. Like I said, this has a lot of surface defects, but I figured, it was there, easy enough to do. I can set the thing to run and walk away from it, and it does most of the work automatically. So I'll stick this on YouTube if anybody is ever looking for footage of them on a float from 1963. Maybe they'll be happy and find it. Oh, speaking of people looking for things, the other day there was a Helms Bakeries, which was, I don't think they're around anymore. They were a big thing where they would drive through your neighborhood with trucks and pull out trays of bread and sell you stuff, fresh made stuff delivered to your door. This lady posted online for the 64 World's Fair group that I was at the World's Fair and I met Pluto the dog, and if you have a picture of me, would you please post it? And people were, trying to point out, how the hell do we know what you look like to be able to post it or not? And she got very mad because I was just asking, for it, and people were, well, we're trying to help you, but, so I said, well, here's a picture of Pluto. I don't know if it's you or not. She never answered, but I just thought that, people assuming a little bit. You have a picture of me at the World's Fair. Could you please post it?
Yeah, it's amazing to
guys,
see
like
some of these floats that aren't in the parade anymore, like that one.
Yeah, most of them are not. I don't know what kind of car that was. The Indiana, the state of Indiana.
Yeah, probably they were celebrating something that year. We'd have to look and see when they're like their 100th birthday or 150th or something like that.
Yeah,
And so sometimes they would get in for that reason. Santa Fe Springs, wow.
yeah.
Didn't know they were in it.
Some of these are really long. The National Rifle Association.
Yeah, they're not in it anymore.
Oh no. Looking at these, I was struck by the lack of animation on most of these. It's just people sitting and waving. So
Yeah.
Flow today, you get no points for sitting and waving. It's, you need to put animation. You need to have something going on it to, attract people. The Lutheran Hour, they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going in it.
And the end. Let me scroll down here and get the next ones. All right, we're now going to go to Disneyland. And this was a souvenir film. When Disneyland first opened, they used a company called Hollywood Film Enterprises, and they had been Walt's licensee. They were doing all the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck cartoons for years and years, and they got the initial contract to do the film footage for the park. So this one I get a real kick out of. That sign, if you go to the park today, there's a very ornate sign, which same wording and everything, but it looks, like they spent a few bucks on it. This one looks like a piece of masonite that somebody painted on it. So trying to figure out the date in this again. This was attached to a film that was shot, the amateur footage was shot in '62. This was on there, so it's somewhere earlier than that. When I looked up, it's got a shot of the Puff and Bake Shop, which left in '60, so it's somewhere between 55 and 60 that this particular film was shot. Again, bright red. The film stock they used at that point in time just did not go. So here's people wearing paper-made hats. I got a real kick, if you go to the park, you could wear your paper hat. So the original titles were cut off of this one when the guy spliced it on, but the boxes are sold as an Adventure in Disneyland series, and then they had shots of them for Main Street, Tomorrowland, et cetera, et cetera. And they redid this over the years because I do have another one from Hollywood Film Enterprises that for Main Street with totally different footage than this. The HFE Hollywood Film Enterprises story is a good one if anybody needs an example of people getting greedy. They had the license to do all the home movies for Disney, so all the Mickey Mouse cartoons I mentioned, all these Disneyland films. They you think you make a lot of money off of doing that. Well, a Disney executive was down in South America, and he happened to see a bunch of Disney cartoons for sale with Spanish language titles on it. And when he came back, he said, "I didn't realize we were selling any of our stuff down there." And the people in licensing said, "No, we're not." Oh, there's the Puff and Bake Shop. So it turned out the people from Hollywood Film Enterprises were bootlegging it and selling it down there, and they got caught. And Disney said, "Okay, ending your license, and we're going to start doing all this stuff with Walt Disney Home Movies instead." But I think if I had the license to do Disney movies, I would have done everything to dot every I and cross every T to make as much money as I could legally. And I was happy when the legal department got rid of a bunch of their files. They were chucking out a giant box of the HFE films they didn't want anymore, and I ended up with about 50 of them. So someday I've got to scan all those. Sharing an office with the legal department for a while worked out. They got rid of all sorts of fascinating stuff.
Everybody loved Flower Street.
Yep. Yale Lock in the back there. And we come to the end of that. So let me let's see what else we had here. I know there was some other odds and ends. 1 second. Oh, I know what it was. I just finished one. I finished that, I did that one, okay. We've seen a bunch of those. 1 second. Have to wake up my NAS drive. It goes to sleep in between uses to save hours on the disk drive. Okay, so another one that, again, all attached to these reels and you don't expect it. We're going to get Marineland, then we're going to go to the 64 World's Fair, and then we're going to see Universal Studios. We got a few things coming up. This was the, again, not color corrected or anything in this particular one yet, but Marineland, the world's largest oceanarium, Palos Verdes Peninsula. You can see, by the way, going on the left side, in the sprocket hole area, Eastman color safety film. All this Eastman film is the stuff that turned bright red. If it was Kodachrome, it would have been okay, but Eastman color just did not last. Being a commercial film, they didn't put anything in the area of the sprocket holes like you see on the some of the amateur stuff. Most amateur stuff did not go in that area, some did.
Is that just matted out when they print that film,
Yes,
Bill?
yeah. Actually, most projectors only got the area you see to the right, so they just ran it that way. When I transfer the films, I generally mat out or crop out the stuff that's off to the left. Some people absolutely love it, you know, seeing, oh, an extra, you know, rare footage or whatever. I find it sort of annoying with the sprocket holes flickering and then the wording going by. So I just I crop these things down.
Well, all that's a function of the camera's gate.
Yep.
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 Oh, pardon me.
The Globetrotters.
This guy must have been on a tripod.
This all commercial, so yeah, likely it was. I don't think I'd like to be. Remember when I was scuba diving, I saw my first shark. I remember I almost inhaled my mouthpiece. I don't think I would have liked to have seen that guy come by at all. The way all the animals follow this guy around, it makes me think about when I go and I sit in my chair in the living room and pick up the bag of dog treats. You would think our dogs hadn't been fed in a month. Round and round and round she goes. Is he waving goodbye to us? Now here is again amateur footage they shot and tacked onto it. You can see it's a wider gate. The colors are also better because now he's using Kodak film. or
That was a
cryo.
pilot whale, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Same act, as we've seen him going around and around, but now he's in better color. And here comes the same hat again. Okay, Disneyland is going to be on its. That was where the souvenir film was tacked. Again, all one giant roll. Now we're going to go to 64 World's Fair. And here we go. Okay, you can see the nut. Let me just move this so I can see it a little bit better. For people that are excellent in identifying things, I don't know what order of nuns those were. You can see up here the habits, but they look right out of the flying nun to me.
Yep.
I was gonna say, aren't they the flying nuns?
Yeah.
The Order of the Flying Nun.
But this was shot with the new lens, so again, I was very happy. This is just right after it came out of the camera there. Did a really nice job of the darker scenes, which we'll see coming up. Smoke ring going up. There's the boss man, Mickey himself. You can tell this is 64 because 65 he was always safely upstairs. After a bunch of local kids try to throw him in the fountain.
Yeah.
VIP level with the dwarf.
Look at the dwarf.
The dwarf is taller than Snow White.
Yep. Now, here's again, it did a nice job with the indoor stuff. On the old lens, this was just totally dark shadows. You couldn't make out any of it. There's more dwarfs.
Bill, what is the typical film speed of film at this time?
16 frames per second for 8mm, 18 frames a second for Super 8, and 24 for Super 8 sound. So if you're a fan of the Tower of the Four Winds, this guy did well by you.
But early in 65, the brass rail looks pretty clean
Yeah.
by 64.
I got a kick out of this. Emma Kelly Jr. with his Instamatic. Okay, you want your picture taken? Okay. Here, hey, smile. Gotcha.
That was before they introduced the flash cube for the
Yes, that's
Instamatic.
right. Yeah. Now, some areas like those flowers there came out blown out. I've scanned it twice, and I'll put them together with the better version. So again, sometimes being more sensitive to light is good. Sometimes it's not. But hey, he's having fun driving.
All right, that kid's too young to be at the fair. He should have stayed home. I mean, I think. Well, I mean, I went to the fair. I was 7, I guess. My brothers were 6. So, so we could walk around. We didn't need to be namby-pambied. But, I don't want to drag a kid that's 2 or 1 to the fair. That's just not right. Not even to Walt Disney World.
I don't know. We took our kids to Disneyland when they were 2 years old, and they liked it. Oh, here's the chunky playground, which again, these look like abstract shapes, but if you line them up at the right size, one abstract shape becomes the head of the elephant, the other is the back end of the elephant. So they had this temporary bandstand they performed at. They also performed on a rolling bandstand that went around the fairgrounds. So let me get the next one here. Okay.
Well, did your children, Bill, at that age remember anything about it?
I don't know. Hang on one second. I lost my video. Yeah. No, they I don't think if you ask them now, did you remember at age 2? But you know, they didn't remember it. They won't remember it now, but they enjoyed what you call it, you know, seeing the Mickey and Donald and all that. They had fun, and they had fun eating ice cream. So they had fun. Let me get the next one set here. This next one. Okay, share screen. This again, where you end up with stuff that you know, is sometimes at the beginning. Very
Uh-huh.
so
Oh, thank you.
okay, so I get this, and it's just you know, home footage. The this reel was labeled New York World's Fair first reel, so or first film. So I guess they had just bought the camera, and we're getting home footage. So he says here, and again, I will chop this stuff out. It won't be on what I will save going forward, but as we go through it, all of a sudden we're going to get to go see the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport as it looked in 1964. It looked very modern. I have no idea which lake this might be, but somewhere up in Minnesota. What's that? Minnesota's the land of 1,000 lakes, right? So good luck trying to figure out
10,000 lakes.
10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So good luck trying to figure out which of the lakes this is. If anybody looks and says, oh, I know that lake, I won't believe you.
I recognize the waves.
Yeah. It's like mini pony tuka taka taka nakadu, you know.
Was there any kind of a family name on the film?
No, no.
Okay.
So this poor guy is probably getting sent off to Vietnam or something.
Brand new terminal.
Reminds me of my Aunt Floss, whose finger was always in her travel movies. But yeah, Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport.
Chamberlain Field. Donald Chamberlain Field.
Did I ever tell you guys that when I was about 10, maybe a little younger, I flew from Minneapolis to Idaho, and the stewardess, right, at the time, asked me if I would ask the guy next to me if he wanted something to eat. And I touched him, and he was ice cold. And I just said, he's dead.
Oh no.
And she said, oh no, honey. And she grabbed me and put me in another seat. And they landed the plane in Sioux Falls. Then continued on.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I hope you weren't telling me your life story and it bored him to death.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah, would have been short.
Remind me not to go on a flight with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. So here was what we came for, the 64 fair. And again, I thought he did a nice job for someone labeled first film.
Yeah, he's not panning too fast at all.
No. We're on one of the glider ride, tram rides.
Oh, good camera, clean gate, a little
Yeah.
bit of light there on the sprocket.
Yeah, well, it looks like it was brand new camera, so he probably didn't get it dirty yet. The back of Chunky again. Oh, that's the Hall of Education right there. They had a little playground. We're outside the Travelers, not the Travelers, Continental Insurance.
You know what would be really interesting is I bet you we could identify that camera or at least the manufacturer based on the way that gate looks. See that little sprocket at the top?
Yeah,
Notch.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
people actually, I've seen people actually doing that, Brock, not sort of Brock, Baron. There's people that are, you know, online that try to figure out what cameras they are from exactly that. Because others have a little notch off to the right, and I have no idea. But people say, "Oh, that," they may not be able to tell you the exact model, but they say that's a Leica, that was a Rolleiflex, you know, whatever way
Yeah.
they did.
yeah.
Yeah, the low left corner isn't rounded either.
No, that's true too. That's square.
Hmm.
I'll leave that to somebody else. I've got a few other projects on my plate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Baron, why don't you report to us next week which one it is?
He could tell us anything, we wouldn't know.
Ugh.
It's a Cotter Flex 2705.
It's got a lot of light leaks right here.
2706.
Oh, that's a
Ah.
good one. Yeah, this is probably near where was the what you call it, the flip the reel over and get the other half of it. So
Understood.
yeah. Yeah, for a lot of people, in case you didn't know, you got one roll of film that was actually 16 millimeters wide, and you would shoot it, and it would get to the end of your roll. You'd have to take it out, flip it over, shoot the other half of it, and then Kodak would split it down the middle with a razor blade, splice the two ends together, and you end up with 8 millimeter.
And imagine that tensioning when it gets towards the end of that roll the film tends to flop around inside the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these were spring loaded. You had to wind them up. A lot of these were not battery driven motors.
Right.
Yeah, I remember seeing people way back at that time period that were very professional about the way they use their cameras. When they would do that, they had this whole black thing they'd put over their head, and it would,
Yeah.
you know, hold the camera in, and they would change the film, you know, in as complete darkness as they could.
Yeah, my mother was on the other hand say, "Oh, look, a supernova. Let me change the film." Again, this is early '64 because there's no roof on the African pavilion over the performers.
I remember
yeah.
having a black bag that I could change the film in.
Yeah,
Same.
you'd see that
Yeah,
too.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rolled my own 35, so I had a bulk
Yep.
roller and I had a black bag.
Yep.
I think this is the first shot I've seen of the monkeys at the World's Fair.
I didn't know they were performing then.
So right now they're doing the Eat No Evil, See No Evil.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, I meant the boy band.
A little early for them.
This is in their first iteration.
Yeah.
They used to hang out with the nuns. They just called themselves the monks back then.
That's very funny.
They only perform Gregorian chants, though.
Hey, hey, we're the monks.
Hey, we're the monks. Or Ride the Skyway now.
People say we monk around.
Gotta sing it in Latin.
This thing was really high up. It gave you quite a view of the fairgrounds. It looks like a really nice, gorgeous day, doesn't it?
Yeah, and no crowds.
No.
Set your time machine to that day, you could have a great time.
That's a good shot.
Poor escorter just waiting for business.
Maybe it was fall when kids were back to school.
No, this was real early in the year, so maybe they weren't out yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
Again,
yeah, maybe, yeah.
these were all pitch black on the original scan with the original lens. So
Wow.
Wow.
really made a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turned out great.
Yeah, as I said, every time you buy one of these and you open the box, you don't know what you're gonna get, and sometimes it's real sporadic, crazy, weird stuff, and other times the guy, did a nice job. And
Oh, it was interesting on that pan he just did. It looked like halfway through he went, "Oh, there's an airplane," and
yeah,
he stopped it, went up to the airplane, followed it, and then went right back to where he was and continued with the pan.
looked that way. Didn't it? No, but Lowenbrow, he kind of moved around a lot here.
Back when his jaw moved.
Yeah. Chrysler.
Never seen that particular shop before.
Yeah, all those little flags were where the Chrysler did business around the world.
Yeah, this probably was in the spring because I was noticing all the grass areas were nice and green and you didn't see where people had made their own pathways, and stuff that you see in some of the later films. And the trees are bare, but some of them are showing signs of budding out.
Yeah, I figure this has got to be the very early part.
Yeah.
Then we get into this, and this was just labeled shop fire. And I said, okay. Well, actually, there were two segments on here. One said windstorm damage, and the other one was shop fire. So we first get the family at their house. They're back up in the Minneapolis area. Did some real quick shots, Got a kid. Love his little hat there with his little ear things, whatever the hell those were. But I mean, oh, he's going real quick. Frames as Junior fell off the thing. Clark Super 100. Anybody know of Clark gas stations? I had never seen one of those before.
Yeah. Well,
What part of the country would that have been in?
in Minnesota.
Yeah. Hey, he's got his bib overalls on. You know you're a man when you get your first bib overalls, right? He's got his shop apron.
When we lived across the street from a golf course.
Actually,
when
that's
I
what that is. That's a shop apron, not overalls.
Yeah. They've got hammers in there.
Yeah,
Anyway, I used to go collect golf balls, right? And find golf balls and sell them to the golfers when I was 4 years old. And you
wow.
think about doing that now.
Yeah, this one again, you just see these random things and you go, okay, the Minneapolis Centennial Showboat. Wonder what that was. Well, in I think it was 1956 or 58, they were celebrating the centennial of the founding of the city, and they bought this riverboat. And the university there had it, and they restored it to be a Victorian age theater inside, and they started doing plays. The first one they did was oh god, the gay something, the gay divorcee, or the gay something. Anyway, they ran until 2018 or so, and they finally said, we lost our lease on the dock, and we sold the boat to the city for $1, and the city was restoring it, and it burned down. But it was all operated as summer theater by the students, and they used it as a floating classroom. That they built all the sets, did all the musicals, and every year they put on a giant musical that ran all summer aboard the Centennial Showboat. So
So is it?
what's that?
Go ahead. I was gonna say, is this near their home? Because then that you might be able to identify the lake.
Yeah, well, it's Minneapolis, but again, how many lakes around Minneapolis?
Oh, that's true. Well, would that had that showboat on it?
Yeah, that's well, again, I can identify that lake, but the other lake that we saw earlier, who
Oh,
knows?
this might not have been the lake by their
Yeah,
house.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I could not identify this building, but somewhere in Minneapolis. It was just kind of fun to read about the showboat, and people's memories of performing
That's a
all the
that's
plays.
a Dodge Polaris. My grandparents owned one. Yeah.
Let the kid wander around in traffic.
Yeah, I was looking at the traffic behind. I was getting nervous when I first saw it. Liked airplanes. Today, the city would probably take that out for liability purposes. Oh, another airplane. Back to the kids.
I miss the slides that could burn your skin off of you on the first slide.
Yeah,
I remember those little metal slides, and that was a third-degree burn waiting to happen.
yeah.
Yep.
Those monkey bar type things. So somebody did a thing from my hometown. They put a thing like, I survived a monkey bars at Prospect Park or something,
Well, being that he does keep taking shots at airplanes, I wonder if they are by the airport, which would put him over by, Mall of America and
Yeah.
before it was built.
Yeah, when I first got to Mall of America, they could still see where the outline of the baseball field had been.
Cool. Yeah, they have
That park,
monuments inside.
that park was across the street from their home because they could, in the last view there was the picture of the car from the other side of
Oh.
that street. You want to go back for a second, you can confirm that, but it sure looked like the same car in the driveway.
Oh, that round building is in the back there.
I mean, there's a round building at Como Park.
Hmm.
But I don't remember seeing it here. I mean,
Well, they live near a school, evidently.
yeah. Wow.
All right, let's get to the next reel here coming up. Where did that go? Oh, here we go.
Those
So
kids
now-
are in their late 60s now.
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we
And
get
what's that make us?
start with some more family footage. Doesn't last very long. They spend a little time out by a pool. And we end up in Hollywood. So here's the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Grauman's Chinese Theater,
Wow.
Roosevelt
is-
Hotel. Yeah, this one was just labeled movie lot, so I didn't know what I'd get. And I said, oh, okay, we get to go see McHale's Navy. I don't know who that was walking down the walkway. This was 65 or 66. I don't remember. I have to
How fun. That is so cool.
Well, they love this because they kept taking footage of it and zoomed in. It would look really good, like they were really driving along.
I like it too.
Okay, what kind of car is that, guys?
Old
Ford
one?
Model T. Needs shock
old one.
absorbers.
Model A touring car? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a T. It's just too big. Probably an A.
Oh,
Which one? Oh, they're back at it.
we're in the car. The
Yeah.
kids loved it.
I do too.
What's scary is that's how the LA freeways look today. Now we take our Glamour tram and we go down to visit the lot. Security guard is a Keystone cop. It was kind of cute. Well, I tell you, I've walked these back a lot, these streets so often when I worked at Universal. It's a kick to see them again.
At least some of them are left. Not all, but some.
Yeah.
Those looks have taken the tour before they made it a big amusement park.
Yep. So there it is, PT 73, McHale's
73.
Navy. My mom got such a kick when they made their first. I guess my dad had been out earlier, but she made her first trip to California, and she got to see PT 73, McHale's Navy. You know, the boat there like that. From McHale's Island and lagoon and all the palm trees. They're actually filming that day. Now, if you watched McHale's Navy, this is the guy that played the chief machinist, the guy always popping up out of the hatch. And his nickname was on the show Tinkerbell, and I can't recall the actor's name. I meant to look it up, but you could actually go on the tours back at that point in time, and people would interact with you. So if anybody has a chance, go look up McHale's Navy and see who this
Checking
was.
now. Tinkerbell.
Yeah. They were doing a Western. Putting out fake snow.
Yeah.
We're at the House of the Munsters.
That was Billy Sands.
Billy Sands, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he was in so many things over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Now that all the fake snow's down, we can walk around in it. Then we hop over to the Griffith Observatory. And we get some more footage of them back home, apparently. And we're going to see some footage of people having a bad day after a storm. It looks like that guy back there with the jacket and tie looks nothing like my grandfather, but they dress the same. I mean, right on the farm, everybody's relaxing and everything. Nope, gotta wear a jacket.
Looks like Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah. Hey, that guy's not wearing a tie.
Yeah, ran right into the camera.
Yeah,
Yep.
ouch.
Seems like that era in Minnesota, everyone wore a golf shirt and then a sport coat over their golf shirt.
Really. This guy's really roughing it. No tie, no jacket.
Yeah, my father used to like to do that. Wear slacks and a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
White t-shirt. Oh,
Yeah, look, that's what this guy's wearing too. It seemed to
Yeah.
be the uniform of the '60s. Slacks and a white T-shirt.
Now
Ooh.
here is windstorm damage.
Huh.
So
What was
like
that,
a
an
giant
awning?
billboard or something came down there.
oh,
and a couple of trees uprooted. That one looks like it hit a house.
Wow.
That one took out a car. I've worked a bunch. Okay, what kind of car is that one?
Smashed.
Yeah, a Flatmobile.
Yes, it's a. I think it's a General Motors product, but it's a little hard to tell. That
Love that aquamarine blue. That's gorgeous.
there's a Corvair on the left. Ooh, look at this one.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah, it
I
bought
got
it.
smacked. Yeah.
I've worked a few of those, and one of the things you first have to do is look and see, was the car empty? You know,
Yeah.
luckily all of mine have been empty. Then we go home and we look around. Again, that one, can you tell from the tail light?
I think that's a Pontiac. I'm not sure. But again, it's General Motors.
Enough kids enjoying that thing. You can tell it's summer, the ties have come off. And we're getting into later years. I mean, this is 66 now. So, you know, I guess people are going casual and can relax. I think I have the box here. What was this label? Let's see. This is labeled, let's see, Eagle Picnic. So I have no idea what the Eagle Picnic is, but it was obviously a big picnic. Just jump up here real quick. Okay, this was Fire at the Shop, 1966. So I found the wording on it and looked up, and it was, as I mentioned at the beginning, it was a company that made machines that carved wood things, and the name of the company was Panten, Panten. And evidently they started back in the 1800s, and they were still going at this point in time. So one guy was working in the shop alone. He was mixing up some chemical which makes artificial rubber, and a spark ignited and blew up the whole place with him in it. And he got burned over 80% of his body.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so what got me is how casual everybody looks here. I mean, the firemen, you know, they're not dressed in turnout coats or anything. But the general manager said they did $100,000 worth of damage, and the next day they said no, it was only $75,000 worth. But all the guys are here from the shop wandering around, and you know, I mean, it did a hell of a lot of damage. From what I gathered, they rebuilt and continue to go for a number of years. But like I said, just from one random, you know, frame of film, you can see the name of the company and looked it up.
yeah, you can see it there. Very briefly. Right there.
Yeah.
It just surprised me how casual all the firemen are dressed. I mean, there's not in the heavy turnout coats. Again, it could have been hotter than hell because this is July, so who knows how it felt. But
Is your killer recording? There we go. Bill, we can't hear you. Oh, you're muted.
I don't know what happened. It said Zoom quit unexpectedly, and then it came back again. So that was
Yeah,
weird.
because it said recording stopped and then it said recording in progress right after it.
Yeah. Well, let me stop the movie. We don't need to see the rest of it. Just more burned out factory. But yeah, that was weird. It just came in and dropped down and then came back again. So weird.
We had a zoom out.
Yes, people zoom in and we zoomed out. So
Yeah.
It's the 31st. Have you paid your Zoom bill yet, Bill?
oh God, yeah. It luckily is paid automatically. So anyway, that was what I had planned for today. Now that Zoom told me we're done, maybe that was Carol's way of saying we need to go to lunch. So but no, again, I am enjoying the new lens. Now I just don't.
That was not my fault.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. So, but the new lens has worked out quite well, and I'm now going to have to selectively go back to. I'm going to first start, I think, with my family movies, and I've got a whole box of Carol's here. I've been waiting to get the new lens to do more of her films. So it's fun seeing her when she was a teenager. It hasn't changed much at all. So
By the way, I looked it up. The Helen Hunt Falls are named for Helen Maria Hunt Jackson, a United States poet and writer who became an activist on behalf of improved treatment of Native Americans by the U.S. government. She died in 1885. She was like 55 years old. She was born in 1830.
yeah, when I first saw the name Helen Hunt, I knew it wasn't going to be the actress, but I didn't have time
Yeah.
to look her up. So, well, like I said, you find out all these fun, weird things. By the way, Don, be very careful behind you.
Yeah.
There,
And I was surprised when I came back. I had the one coyote looking off to the right and the other one looking from underneath.
yeah. Well, one of
Looks
my
like a
neighbors,
demon coyote with those eyes.
we see them all the time outside our house. You shine the light on them, and two green dots are looking back at you. It's just
Yeah.
really, really weird. One of my neighbors 2 miles away posted a picture of a very large bobcat in the driveway the other night, and they got up in the morning and the neighbor said, "Hey, look what my Ring camera picked up," and everybody in the neighborhood then started going to their cameras, and it's just wandered through the neighborhood and going up and down. But it's a real. Carol saw the video, a picture of it. I think it's pretty good sized cat. It's let's see. It's the Broadmere. It's on their history page. They raised the A is copyrighted in 1918. I have to look at that. That's really weird. I wonder why they did that. Huh. Boy, you learn something new all the time. So Brent, you've never. I have to say farewell to sunny California. I got more snow to shovel. My brother, who lives in the Finger Lakes area, posted some pictures of the snow back there, and then he said, "I can't even see across the street right now." So I hope when we go back there this September, Carol, it's gone by then.
Yeah, like Mount Rainier.
Oh yeah, we may have mentioned this when my son graduated from high school. We said, "Where do you want to go? We'll take you anywhere you want to go. Disneyland, Disney World, Europe." No, I want to go to Mount Rainier because we had a calendar we had bought that had pictures of wildflowers, and one picture was Mount Rainier, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So we said, "Okay." We had a lot of wildflowers here, a lot of the California poppies and the lupins and others. So we made reservations. We flew up to Seattle. We drove to Mount Rainier. We went into the ranger station, and I said, "I'd like to know where we get to find the wildflowers." And the guy said, "Oh, you go out to this building here. You take a left down the trail. You go about 100 yards, and you wait 3 months." And he goes, and there was snow out there, and we went up to the top of as high as you can drive up on Mount Rainier, and I've got a picture of Carol. And the snow is about 22 feet tall. I mean, they had record snow that year. It was just insane. So we did find wildflowers by driving to the other side of we went to the Columbia River, and that was just lupins everywhere as far as you could see. But we have lupins outside our front door. But boy, that was a lot of snow. That was just, that was insane. And they've been posting pictures of that back east with the, people, the snow plow goes through, and there's somebody standing there and they said, "I'm 6'2" and the snow is 4 feet above me." I mean, it's just been insane what they've been getting. So Michelle shaking her head. You've seen a lot of snow, huh?
Oh yeah. Plus them trying to get all the snow out of the way is building huge snow castles, especially in the parking lots and what have you. They're enormous. It's like this is never going to melt, and when it does melt, it's going to be all ice. It's going to be a skating rink.
Well, the town,
Because it's only 25 degrees here today. It was -4 yesterday. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah,
Where are
Baldwin,
you at, Michelle? Where are you at?
I'm in
Where-
Northeast New Jersey, right outside of Manhattan.
Okay, I'm down there,
Passaic
Charlotte, North
County?
Carolina. I'm in
Yeah.
Charlotte down here. It's only 21 degrees. It's been snowing hard. We got about 8-10 inches on the ground. It's still coming down.
Yeah, we're going
Biggest
to get
snow I've
more
seen.
apparently.
yeah, the town
It's
I
not
grew
coming up to Jersey.
town I grew
Yeah,
up
don't come up here.
It's not coming up the coast. It's just sitting off here.
Yeah.
Now, where
No, we're
Beth
gonna get
Bramlett
some
is,
next Friday, apparently. But it keeps on
No,
being
we're-
pushed back. It was supposed to be this weekend and then midweek, and now it's next weekend. At some point, we're gonna get even more on top of the craziness we already have. So I'm not
Hey,
really,
Beth,
there
I
hasn't
wanna
been any plows on my street. So we did it ourselves in my
Oh.
neighborhood. It's you driving at your own risk at this point, and they still haven't gotten to us. The city hasn't been able to get to all the different areas yet, and it's been a week.
When Neil was in DC, he was, or in Virginia, he was on a dead end street. And that was like the last
Mhm.
street that they go to plow because it's a dead end. And that when there was snow, everybody knew to go park your car, someplace else. But the town I grew up in had a picture this past week of they're building they're tearing out the little 7-Eleven and across the street putting in a bigger one with gas pumps and that. But they said if you want to get there, bring skis because the snow was piled up 12 feet tall on the side.
Mhm.
And I was saying that where I went to college in Potsdam, New York, we had one storm, we got 48 inches of snow in one drop on top of the 6 feet that was already there. And you mentioned parking lots, they would take the snow and they would pile it like it was a closed Montgomery Wards that got out of business. They piled it, well, first they would put it on the river and wait for the river to thaw and then all this, snow would fall in. But they ran out of, they couldn't get the tractors up it anymore. So they rented the Montgomery Wards parking lot and put the snow there until they couldn't get it up anymore. And then they went to all the farmers in the area and said, "Can we put snow in your field?" And the farmers said, "Hell no, because it's going to do exactly what you said. It's going to freeze and it's never going to melt in time for us to do our crops." So they were literally putting ads in the newspaper. If anybody has a vacant lot, we could, rent to put snow in. I mean, it was just snow everywhere. And I've got a picture of the parking lot, and the only way you could find the cars was the antenna sticking up out of the snow. And I remember one guy went out and dug out a car and found out it wasn't his car. He was so mad. Probably finally got down, it was somebody else's. So that's why we live in LA, where it was 82 yesterday.
Oh, shush.
well, it's 21 now where I am.
Actually, it's really getting bad now because we have spring or summer weather in winter and no winter. So we
Yeah.
haven't had rain since before the new year.
No,
Well, actually, at New Year was the last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we had 4 or 5 days in a row of a
Yeah.
lot of rain and then nothing since then.
yeah. No, and the worst part about it is this hot now. What's July or August or September going to be like? So, not good. So anyway, we saw some interesting footage. We learned about the small A in Broadmoor, which I'm going to go look up and see why they wanted to do that. I figured there was some reason that wasn't just a weird sign. But and then again, like I said, it's just weird the stuff you find on the movies and like the Showboat and looking at the history of that, and next thing you know, you're looking at stories about colleges doing summer stock. So, well, I think I will have a bunch more movies next week because I got that big box that just came in. I'm dying to do, and I'm looking at all these other reels. So I don't know if I will ever go back and do the old ones again, but now it's in my spare time. I have something to do. So I do hope for you folks back east that it does get warmer and you don't get buried under any of it. What's scary is when you see things like Joey mentioning about the power going out, that that can become quite an issue. So hope people are staying warm. And I did restore a roll of film for Joey, so when he's on, everybody has to put pressure on him. We can see Joey in one of those strollers at the fair pretending he's driving. So we can embarrass the heck out of him. So well, I hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next week then.
See you next week.
Thanks a
Bill.
lot, Bill. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Bill.